Deku had the powers of Shimra from Fire Force Part 1. Let's go. Before we get into this, I want to go into some backstory. I know in the manga, we're gonna see Deku's father soon, I think. I don't know, any point. Horikoshi said that he's gonna put him in, but for now, since we don't know him yet, really, I'm gonna put him as a villain. And, yeah, that's all you guys gotta know for now. So, Deku was born with a twin brother, and his twin brother's name was, let's go with, frick, what do I go with? Fuck. I didn't think this through, did I? Let's say, like, Tanjiro. Tanjiro from Demon Slayer. Yeah, let's go with that. Deku's father wasn't really around much because, like I said, he's a villain, so he is doing bad things, but the family doesn't know this yet. When his father does come home, he usually is very angry, but they don't really know why. For all they know, he's a businessman. So, at the age of 4, Deku gets a little brother. Yeah. So, Deku went to the park with his mom and his little brother. And they had a picnic. Deku was playing around with his little brother and stuff. His mom was... They were all having a good time. And they arrived home. It was later at night, like 8 o'clock. Deku and his little brother are already asleep. And there's a knocking on the door. And Inko wakes up and goes downstairs to check who's at the door. The person who's at the door turns out to be her husband. She opens the door and gives him a great hug. Okay? But Hasashi was not having it. He was super angry. And he hit her. And Hasashi said that he was staying for a little while. Like 2 months. They let him off work. That's what he told her. Even though he was just on the run after committing a large crime. So, when Izuku and Tanjiro woke up, Izuku walked downstairs and saw his dad. So Izuku was extravagant. He was really happy. Went to hug his dad and all that stuff. But Izuku's dad was just upset for whatever reason, so he just took his anger out on Izuku. Oh, I forgot to mention one part. Tanjiro was born with a quirk. So, yeah. And it was supposed to be like a really, really strong fire quirk. He was able to manipulate... He's able to manipulate all flames. Well, not all. Let's say, like, he's able to manipulate flames like an Endeavor, but his flames are much hotter and stronger, kind of like Dobby's quirk. But, like, it's different. It's just different. It's gonna be black, I guess, instead, because that seems cooler. Deku hasn't awakened his quirk yet, so his father doesn't really care about him. He's only interested in Tanjiro because he thinks he could just train him to be a villain and help him do his bidding. So, when Deku was 6, and his brother's 2, his father starts training Tanjiro to start to control his quirk. The reason Inko wasn't worried about Sashi tormenting their son was because Sashi said that Tanjiro couldn't really control his quirk and he didn't want him to die. So he wanted him to control his quirk before anything bad happened. So, let's go. So Deku feels like his father only cares about Tanjiro, so he stops really caring about Tanjiro. But then one day he goes to the park with his entire family this time, not just him, his mom, and Tanjiro. And Tanjiro and him go off to play on the playground, and Tanjiro falls and hurts himself. Well, was about to hurt himself. But Tanjiro was trying to go down a slide, and he accidentally fell off the edge. Since Deku was at the bottom waiting for him to come down so they can finish their game of tag, he was able to catch him. And Tanjiro was crying as he fell down from the air, so it really meant something to him. When Deku saved him, he said, "Don't worry, little brother. I'll always be here to help you. Don't ever be afraid, because I will always protect you, no matter what." And Deku says this as a promise, because he knows that his brother is too young to understand, but he really loves his brother. He might be annoyed that he gets more attention than him and his father, but he still loves and cares for him. Deku goes to school the next day and gets bullied because he hasn't unlocked his quirk yet. Deku still has the potential to unlock his quirk, but he just hasn't unlocked it yet. And by the way, I'm making Endeavor a good hero, and I'm making All Might worst one. He's kind of like a liar. He's a good hero. He does everything the same, but in reality, he's really deceivious and not that good of a person. That's how I'm going to change it to. So, Deku picks his brother up from daycare since they don't live that far. Tanjiro's daycare and Deku's school aren't that far apart, so Deku just picks him up as he goes home. Deku walks home and notices that he walks into the house and hears his mother and father arguing. And Inko's like, "How could you do this? I loved you." And Hasashi's just like, "Get out of my way, woman. You have conceived a child that is good enough. I don't need you anymore." Deku and Tanjiro walk in. Deku covers Tanjiro's ears because he doesn't want his little brother to hear this, but it's too late. He already heard. It was too late to cover his ears. He already heard it. So then Hasashi comes downstairs and takes Tanjiro. Deku gets mad and starts charging at him and says, "Leave him alone. Leave my little brother alone." Inko comes in as well, trying to stop him. She's using her quirk to pull Tanjiro away, and Deku's just trying to punch him with his little fists. And at that moment, Deku unlocks his quirk. It was a small flame coming from his foot. And he kicks at his father, but his father just inhales the flame and spits it back at him. Deku doesn't dodge. It's too late. He's frozen in fear, but his mother moves him out of the way and takes the hit. She starts burning. Deku's screaming and crying. Tanjiro is just shocked. He can't even move. Tanjiro would faint because of all this commotion. And his father just decides to burn down the entire building so his traces get covered. Upstairs, there are two fake bodies that match Deku's little brother and Hasashi. They burn up as well as the house. And there were heroes that came by, Backdraft and Endeavor. They still come. They try to save as much people as they can. But all Deku sees is his father looking like a demon, carrying his little brother away. Deku's crying, bawling his eyes out. Endeavor comes in and tries to see if there's any survivors. He sees little Deku with his feet on fire and his mother dead next to him. Endeavor takes him out and says everything will be fine because he is here. And he is here to take out the flame that has killed his mother. Right now, they assume that it was Deku that actually caused the fire. But Deku just is in so much shock he can't talk at all. So Endeavor's just thinking in the back of his mind as he asks Deku. Backdraft puts out the flames, and Deku's feet are still on fire. And he's standing holding Endeavor's hand, looking at what used to be his home. So, yeah, Deku's now an orphan. He has to go to an orphanage, and he gets bullied even more because on that day, he started smiling. It was like a nervous smile, but a smile nonetheless that looked very evil. And there were footprints all around the house. They were from his footsteps during the fire. And they looked like... And the footprints just looked evil, like the devil's footprints. And his smile just went with it, and everybody just called him a demon child from then on. Nobody would talk to him or anything. Deku knew that his brother was still alive, and his evil father would still had him in control. But Deku promised to himself that he would avenge his little brother and get him back before he died on some dangerous mission that his evil father sent him on. Deku's honestly he's just messed up right now. He just doesn't understand. So they bring Deku to the police station where he's questioned by officers and stuff. He says that it was his father that killed them all. It was his father that burnt down the building, but they don't believe him because they see his father's body there. They're just thinking that he's just making it look like that because he doesn't really truly accept that he killed his family. So, yeah. Everybody just feels bad for him, so they won't convict him of any crime because obviously it was his quirk's awakening, so he couldn't really stop it. That's what they're thinking. While it's true that his quirk just awakened, his father really burnt down the house, trying to kill him. His father hears that. His father doesn't hear that Deku's alive. He doesn't really care about Deku because there's nothing Deku can do with his little flames on his toes. Like, what the heck is that gonna do to him? What is he gonna do? Burn his shin? I don't know. That's what he's thinking. So Deku goes to an orphanage and has to adjust to his new life. Everybody hates him and bullies him because they think that he killed his family, calling him a villain and such. But Deku really knows the truth. Deku uses this time to train his quirk in his body so he can be ready for the time he kills his father or defeats him in battle. Deku's not really sure yet because he's filled with so much rage. He wants to just torture him to death. So let's do a time skip to the last day of middle school, I think it was, when Deku gets attacked by the sludge villain. I'm just going to assume that's the last day of middle school. So, it was the last day of middle school. The teacher was like, who is going to UA? No. I'm supposed to be giving out these career papers to see what you guys want and apply for jobs in the future and such. But I know y'all just gonna go to the hero path. And everybody just shows off their quirk except Deku and Bakugo. Deku doesn't do it because he doesn't really care for them. He knows that they won't be good heroes, especially with their attitude. He knows a hero is supposed to be a good person that never gives up. So that's what he is. Bakugo's like, hey, teach, don't lump me in with these extras. They won't be as good as me in any platform. These B-listers will be lucky enough to make it as a sidekick. Everybody starts booing on Bakugo. And then the teacher looks at the application for what high school they're going to, and it says Bakugo's going for UA. And he says this out loud. Bakugo, you're going into UA? Everybody starts whispering like, yo, that is a pretty good school. I mean, like, that's like the top in the country. The acceptance rate is like a 0.2, my dude. What the heck is going on? And then the teacher's like, oh, Midoriya, aren't you also going for UA? Everybody starts laughing at him, insulting him, saying, no villain, UA's not going to let a villain inside its premise. And just insulting and yelling at him. Then Bakugo gets up and is like, yo, Deku, what the fuck are you going to do? Kill them too, like you did to your entire family? Deku's like, I didn't do it, okay? Now leave me alone. Everybody's shocked because this is like one of the very little times Deku actually speaks back to them. So Bakugo's like, oh, you want to fight? Deku's like, hey, no, I don't want to fight. Just leave me alone, okay? At the end of the school day, Deku's packing up. Bakugo comes over and is like, yo, Deku, what's up, homie? Deku's like, what do you want, Bakugo? Bakugo's like, it was worth a try. Well, I just wanted to tell you, Deku, don't apply for UA. That's my school. Okay? And we all know that you really killed your parents. They're not going to let a villain in on their school. Okay? So just go away and die. Really. You're a villain. You killed your family. Nobody cares about you. Just die already. You know what? Here's an idea. Why don't you just take a swan dive off the roof? Yeah, that sounds good. Take a swan dive off the roof. And in your next life, wish to not be a villain with an evil quirk, too. With that, Bakugo walks out. The reason Bakugo didn't destroy Deku's hero notebook is because I don't think Deku's really gonna be a hero nerd. He's going to be more serious, not nerdy. He might have his stutter, maybe. But I don't think so. So, Deku's walking home after getting the talk from Bakugo. He's thinking, what if I really did jump off the roof? You'd be charged with something. I don't know. He's probably going to be charged with something. I don't know what he'd be charged with, but it's definitely something. Deku's just angrily walking back home. walking to the orphanage. He's going under a bridge when a slime villain came off behind him and was like, "Hey kid, I'm gonna bark your quirk for a little bit, okay? How does that sound? And by the time I'm done, you'll be dead with yourself." Deku activates his quirk and rockets away. The slime villain starts chasing him, but Deku just keeps flying away. And he turns around and just blasts off right in front of the slime villain, attacking him with his flames as he does a backflip as he turns mid-air to shoot the villain with his flames on his toes, if you know what I'm saying. So then All Might comes out and is like, "Ha ha 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 ha! Have no fear, for I am here." And the slime villain's like, "Oh fuck, shit! What the fuck am I gonna do now? I got something that burnt me, and now I got some buff dude that can take out, like, I don't know, a fucking fighter jet, nigga. I'm so goddamn screwed." All Might uses a Texas Smash and obliterates the slime villain. Deku pulls out 2 water bottles that he just happens to have and helps All Might put them in the slime villain in the water bottles. All Might thanks him, and Deku gets his autograph and asks him a question. All Might, for all my life, I've been accused of being a villain because my parents died. And when I get nervous, I smile. It kind of looks villainous, but it isn't. I'm just nervous, okay? And people say that I can't be a hero. Do you think I could be a hero? Oh, I heard about you. You're that kid that kills his parents. You can never be a hero. Maybe I should take you in. All Might's time limit starts to run out, and All Might's like, "Oh shit, I can't do that with him right now. I'll get you, kid. I'll get you, kid. You won't stand a chance, and you should go to prison. You don't deserve to live. You can't just brutally murder your mom, your dad, and your little brother. You will pay for what you have done." Twinkle. So Deku just walks home. There wouldn't be a sludge villain accident because Deku didn't stop All Might from delivering the sludge villain, which means that he wouldn't have fallen out of his pants pocket. Deku just arrives to the orphanage. He gets bullied by other orphans and just waits for his next day in life. Well, that's the end of part 1. Like and subscribe if you like my content. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.